Okay, hey guys. So this is my second journal entry for the MCAT. Well, journal entry, not really. It's more like just me actually doing it on the screen capture software. So um, the first video I made, there was problems with the audio, so you couldn't really hear me talk. Not that you want to hear me talk, because I get really this thing really frustrates me every time I do it, so I get really noisy. So yeah. So this time I'm going to do biology. And just so you know, it doesn't everything I'm doing on camera doesn't mean I'm doing it correctly. I'm just like making a video journal of everything I'm thinking and doing at the time. Alright, so I started passage 3 in a MCAT practice test. And okay. So passage 3, I was just highlighting this sort of stuff. Okay. So students conducted 2 experiments. I took a nap and I totally forgot why I highlighted this stuff. Rates of formation of their semi-carbazone form. This is one of the organic chemistry questions. And this is one I always tend to do bad in organic chemistry questions for some reason. I'll skip all that for now. Which of the following rationale explains which compound is the product of kinetic control? Kinetic control? I remember something about that in organic chemistry. Kinetic control, but I don't really remember exactly what it was. Let's see. Does the passage have anything to help with that? No, the passage. I mean, kinetic control must be temperature then. Kinetic and thermodynamic. Okay, I remember that. Damn, I still don't remember what the difference was. That's like organic chem 1, I think. Explains which compound is the product of kinetic control. I'm not sure what compound is talking about. Which of the following explains which compound? So which differentiates between the kinetic compound versus the thermodynamic compound? Kinetic, high energy activation. No, maybe. Increasing temperature doesn't lower the activation energy. That's only enzymes and catalysts. Lower energy and activation is probably the same thing, maybe. It forms faster at all temperatures because its rate of formation is independent of its path. See, I really have no clue. That's a common thing whenever I'm doing passages, aka most passages. Can someone explain to me what this means? Because it makes no sense to me. But I'll make a note to go back into my textbook and search kinetic and thermodynamic control. It's biochemistry, never mind. Wait, is it? I don't know. Damn it. I'll just say B. Yeah, I don't know at all. What's a semi-carbazone? Which semi-carbazone is a product of thermodynamic control? Okay, there's no point even continuing because I have no clue what the difference is. Let me just Google it. Okay, let's see. Thermodynamic control and kinetic control. Stability of the products. Rate of formation. So thermodynamics has to do with how stable something is, and then kinetic determines how fast the product forms. So it's basically like equilibrium. It's like in Gen Chem, it is the chapter on equilibrium and kinetics. So it's the one. It's like it's okay. So it's something like that. So which semicarbazone is the product of more stable control, I guess. So what are the two carbozones then? I mean, I'm not sure what it's talking about at all. Like, which carbazone? What carbazone? I only see one. Oh, wait, so this is a carbazone? I guess, okay, carbazone. What is a carbazone? One is a ketone. Carb, it probably means carbon. What the heck does semi have to do with it? And furanaldehyde. Oh, it gives me what they are in the passage already. I've noticed in MCAT questions, there's always like, you can if you know what to do, you can immediately eliminate two of them because they're always about the same thing. You know, like it's half of them is about the same sort of topic, and the second half is another about the same sort of topic. It's like A and B is about cyclohexanones, C and D is about two furaldehydes. So if you know if it's not a furaldehyde, then you know it has to be A or B. Otherwise, it's the other two. But you have no clue what's in the passage. It doesn't help at all. I really need help knowing how to understand these passages. Even though I read a lot of science articles, I don't understand how none of it helps me with any MCAT question. It's like all I do is read science articles all day, and it doesn't help me at all to understand anything they're talking about. Because I look at these questions, and I have no clue what it's saying at all. There's nothing. You might as well be throwing at me French. So the only word I recognize that has anything to do with it is equilibrium. So I'm just gonna choose it because I see that word. Otherwise, I mean, there's nothing I can go on. Two furaldehyde. Oh my god! And then there's these NMR questions that I read exam crackers to try to explain to me what the difference is, and it doesn't make any sense at all. I do remember that the exam crackers book talked about like the protons on around a carbon, but they didn't really go into detail how do you solve this sort of stuff. So 1, 2, 3. Like, I know it has something to do with these hydrogens right here, but I don't know. I mean, if there's 3, so I'll just say 3. I don't know. Okay, and I don't even know what a Hirsch funnel is. We only use Bushnell funnels. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. God damn. I mean, I know this thing, I guess. Carbonyl, carbon, and cyclohexanol. This is something I do know. Is sp2. Person with hypertension. I'm about to not get hypertension. I just took the sleeping medicine. Well, just melatonin. It's not very strong. With melatonin with Valerian and chamomile, which is supposed to have some anti-anxiety effects. Which I was gonna see how well I do under that stuff, because exams like this makes me super nervous, and then I have no clue what anything is about because I get so nervous. Yeah, I can't even talk. I can never talk. Hypertension. So do I look at the questions first, or do I read the passage first? It's like what to do. Do I read? What do I do? Do I just go ahead and read the entire thing all at once, or do I read? Is there anything I could do to make understanding A and B simpler? I'll just read it then. Hypertension exceeds normal range. Greater than 140/90. Pressure. Shortened lifespan. Treated. Unknown causes. Several proposed causes. That's how I read. It's like, if I read all the words, it makes even more no sense than if I skip around. I don't know. I just words make no sense. I'm gonna try applying some grammar rules maybe, and see if that does anything. An analog, that's analog of Ohm's law, is the subject. Applied would be the verb. To would be a preposition, I think. The would be the would be like the preposition to the it'll be the article to this superlative. Illustrates the best relationship. So the cardiovascular system is the object. See, it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, there wouldn't even be any reason to apply it. What use would be to? What use is it to apply something? Because I learned that from this grammar rule stuff from Leonardo Radamile's MCAT system. But I don't see the point of applying grammar rules if we subconsciously already know them. So there wouldn't be any. It would just be spending more time to think about something that's unnecessary. What I do know is that formulas are super important. Well, I guess overall, this hypothesis A is talking about is making an analog of Ohm's law, which is about voltage and equal to resistance times current. I think that's probably all I need to know. Hypothesis B. Change in resistance to blood flow, increase blood pressure. What does it say here? Pressure is equal, so as pressure increases, so voltage is always constant. So this is saying the analog pressure is constant. To make pressure constant, if, for example, resistance increases, then cardiac output must decrease to maintain constant pressure, if that's what I mean by analog. So this one is equivalent to something like Boyle's law, Charles' law, and Avogadro's law, where it's a direct proportion. So that's probably all we need to know, the difference between it. We're assuming B is correct. Which of the following endocrine disorders would cause hypertension that could not be rectified by normal kidneys? Okay, that question makes no sense at all. No question makes sense. And every single question I'm reading this entire MCAT test makes no sense. What does that mean when nothing makes sense? Like, if you read a question, do you automatically understand the question? Because when I read any of these questions, none of it makes sense. Not at all. So it's saying, which of these excesses or shortages not be fixed by a normal kidney? Well, let's see. We know glucagon, yeah. Wait, glucagon? No. Glucagon and insulin. Well, they're both kind of like opposites of each other. So, an excess of glucagon means... Oh wait, the shortage of insulin shouldn't be able to fix it, because kidneys don't secrete insulin. And I think kidneys secrete thyroxine. If there's an excess of anything, then the kidneys can just pour it out. Yes. So if there's a shortage and it's not produced by the kidneys, then it can't do anything. What mechanism would probably be responsible for the increased urine output induced by hypertension according to hypothesis B? Hypothesis B, well, if resistance increases, then blood pressure increases. And I'm thinking, if blood pressure increases, then the kidney has to reduce the volume of the volume of water in blood to reduce blood pressure back to normal. Increase blood flow to the bladder? No. I'd say increase permeability to water. If blood flow is restricted to the kidneys, by clamping it, and that results in blood pressure, and higher blood pressure that ends up being hypertension. Which hypothesis which these results best support? Okay, I don't know. Every time they say these results, I have no clue what they're talking about. What results are you talking about? Because I don't know, whenever I'm writing lab reports, I write results section or results on my lab report. If there's no results, I don't see anything results written here. I have no clue what the fuck they're talking about. Please tell me how you read these sort of passages. Not just biology, like even the English section. I get 5s for months. I've been studying that English section just out of my wits. I've been studying for 5 months, and I've only gotten 5s. Only 5s, nothing higher. As for the physics section, I just don't even read the passage anymore. Okay, so maybe I'm thinking the results is talking about the small increase in blood pressure, and this small increase in blood pressure supports hypothesis A or B, but which one? Well, what it says is that if you don't, okay, so if you clamp the blood, water flow out of the kidneys is restricted. Therefore, I don't know if therefore, because there's what causes resistance of blood to increase. It doesn't tell me. Like, what is blood resistance? Does it just suddenly become thicker? Does it turn from like water consistency to like oil consistency? Like I mean, just as an exaggeration, but it doesn't. What is blood resistance? I don't get it. Is it supposed to be implied that I would know what resistance is talking about? I see. Okay. Well, let's see. So B is the only one that talks about kidneys. So it has to be B, one of the B's. So then, which one? Because the volume of body fluids was probably decreasing. We know that it was supposed to decrease, but it didn't decrease. The kidneys were responding to the decreased glomerular blood pressure. What does it mean, kidneys were responding? Well, I have no clue what that's talking about, so I'm just gonna go with whatever I heard about. If blood pressure were doubled and resistance were increased by 50%. So P, well, I get to write that. So it's like 2P equal, what is that? Okay, 2P equals, what is OD or something? I don't remember, times. Since it's increased by half, then it's 3 out of 2. Three out of 2 of resistance. The amount of blood pumped. It's not even in the formula, the amount. CO is flow rate. That's velocity. That's not an amount. What the fuck? Let's just move all the terms to one side then. 4 over 3. There is no 4 over 3. But I know 4 over 3 is greater than 3 over 3 by 1/3 or by 1/3. So I'm just going to guess it increased by 1/3 then. Even though there's no really good reason why I'm doing that. There's nothing in the paragraph is helping. I don't remember reading about this in any of my classes and the study books. Hypothesis A. Which of the following muscle types would cause hypertension? I mean, it's probably smooth. It's the only one that deals with blood vessels. Oh crap, cardiac also deals with that stuff too. Well, okay, so increase in blood pressure has to deal with two things. The heart muscles, which deals with cardiac output, and vascular resistance, which deals with blood vessels, which is the smooth. So it's both smooth and cardiac. I don't know what they're talking about then. It's certainly not multinucleated. That's the regular strength muscles. Striated, yeah, I forgot what that was. I think that's skeletal muscle. That's the other type of skeletal muscle, like, I don't remember. Most likely? How do you know it's most likely? There's no way to know. It's either smooth or cardiac. There's no way to know unless you do an experiment. I mean, I'll just say because cardiac is big. I'll just say the heart is big, so I'll just say that. Synthesis of antibodies. Oh, I love these. I love these questions, except this. That's organic chemistry. I like organic chemistry, but for some reason I can't ever get those right. How long have I been recording this? Antibodies synthesis is associated with, well, it's a protein, so I'm guessing it's probably ER, since ER has a bunch of stuff on top of it, ribosomes. But Golgi apparatus also does stuff like that. It modifies proteins. So who knows? Knee jerk. Well, nerve starts with sensory. Then it goes to the relay neurons, which is associative. Then no, that's not D. Or associative neurons to the brain. It doesn't go to the brain. It goes to the spine. I don't know why they put the brain here. What does the brain have anything to do with it? There's no brain. It doesn't go directly from sensory neurons too, which is the complete pathway. Yes, it's from sensory neurons to motor neuron, but he chopped out all the spinal cord stuff. Sensory, brain, motor neuron. No. Okay, this is wrong. There's no brain involved. It's the spine, because it's automatic. You don't have to think about the knee jerk. But still, it's the closest. Unless they're talking, no. Yeah, whatever. The most effective way of removing triethylamine. It's an organic compound, so extract the reaction mixture with aqueous. Well, whichever is the most polar. That's polar. That's polar. That's polar. Well, they're all polar. They're all soluble. They're all polar, so they're all going to separate it. I don't care what you use. Just choose one and go with it. Yeah, it's the goddamn most effective thing. I hate these questions. Well, okay, so that means which one is the most polar of the three? Bicarbonates is HCO3. That's, I guess it's kind of polar. Hypochloric. Well, whenever there's an H in it, it's going to be pretty polar. It's going to be pushing it, really pulling it up, the hydrogens really hard. So it's going to be a huge separation between positive and negative. So I guess it's that. Well, it goes from axial, equatorial, axial, equatorial. The most predominant conformation. Well, I know axial is, equatorial is most stable, so I guess that one's going to be equatorial. But then you got another equatorial here. I'll just say equatorial, no. Because I know big stuff is always most stable equatorial places. Then the second one, like the small one here, could be any of it. Or if you say this is equatorial, then axial, then equatorial, then axial. It's like opposite each other. And I've seen times where it's not opposite, so I don't know what it's talking about. Whatever, I'll just say that. Okay, passage 5. I'm gonna take a little break right here. Just gonna go browse some stuff. Yeah, no more idolatry. Yeah. Ah, whatever. Okay, let's just do some PCR for fun. I think the sleep medicine is starting to be really active now. I think I feel even slower than I was 30 minutes ago. And that's saying something, because I'm slow to begin with. Says how many questions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These questions they look really conceptual. Like really conceptual. There's no conceptually different than the organic chemistry type. Oh well, I could probably solve this without where is it? I could probably solve this without the passage. Uric acid enters the urine both through filtration and secretion. The process of filtration. Wait, what? Oh. process of filtration takes place in the glomerulus, distal, and proximal. So I don't know what you're talking about. It takes place in all of them. Oh damn, it's the uric acid. Uric acid is big. So I guess I'll say distal. No, wait. Yeah, okay, say distal. I sort of remember that distal filters out the big stuff like glucose and stuff. So the uric acid is kind of big. Colchicine. Relieves gout symptoms through what? Okay, so that's probably in the passage. Where the hell is colchicine? Microtubule reorganization. Okay, none of these is about microtubule reorganization. Treated with this part has PPPs in it. Something about pH. Oh well, since, I mean, I remember seeing this in the passage right here, so I guess I'll just select this one. Which base promotes uric acid formation? I mean, I guess the only base in here is gonna be the answer. Let's see, phosphonic base. Like, they can't expect us to have memorized that. Glutamine turns. I mean, I see glutamine, but the glutamine is an amino acid. Breakdown of purines is formed by the breakdown of purines to xanthine. 5-phospho. I mean, there's G in this one. I mean, the only one that has a G is guanine. I don't know what breaks down to xanthine. We never had to memorize that. And the patients described in the passage, the likely genetic basis of increased level of uric acid is a mutation. And what is this mutation? I have no clue. I know PRPP synthase, but I don't know if it's active. No normal levels of PRPP synthase, but the enzyme activity was 3 times normal levels. So it's probably rates of transcription. No, wait, what is it? 3 times. So yeah. Some animals have developed the ability to excrete nitrogenous bases largely as uric acid, like birds. Oh, there it is. It's a bird. There's no way you can possibly know that. I only knew it was because I learned it in high school. That's not in any of the prep in the it's not in any of the prep books. There's no possible way for them to know that has to do with birds. Oh damn, Hoffman rearrangements. I totally forgot about that. Haven't touched Hoffman rearrangement in like a billion years. I mean, inductive effects. What is the major product? I always get these wrong. So so this thing is treated with bromine. Bromine's gonna brominate something to make a leaving group. I mean, it's probably not gonna brominate the nitrogens. Now, does it brominate this hydrogen here, or those hydrogens somewhere else? Or it's probably, I mean, this is no other way. There's no other thing it could possibly brominate. Unless it brominates this carbonyl thing right here. I don't know why it would. Well, let's just say it brominates this thing. What it does, it will just convert to an alcohol. That won't do any good. And also something weird. Wait, 1, 2. There are 2 carbons right here. What happened to the carbons? These 2 are the only ones with the 2 carbons. The carbons here just somehow disappeared for no reason. Why would brominating and then adding a base make a carbon disappear for no reason? I mean, carbonyls are stable. I don't know why. Why would bromine remove an amine? Amines are tightly bond. They attach pretty tightly. They're not as good of a leaving group. And you're not gonna break a carbonyl. I'll just say B. And there's the reaction right here. So you add the bromine and the hydroxyl. It looks like it does brominate the nitrogen. And basically the nitrogen just falls off. Okay, so maybe I did do it right. It has been reported that some circumstances. Why did I just say circumstances? Hydrolysis of an amide. Okay. compete with the Hoffman rearrangement. What would be the product? So you have compound 1 undergoing hydrolysis of an amide. Well, this is the amide, and hydrolysis would be using water to break it. Now, where would water attach? Well, I guess it will just form this thing. Water is probably going to give a hydrogen to this amino group thing here, and then the OH is going to attack right here and push it off. So this is 3-nitrobenzoic acid. So M-nitroaniline. So nitro and aniline. So aniline, I think, is the amino group on the phenyl group, or it's amino benzene. On the opposite side of the amino group, there is the nitro. So disappearance of, well, 33 is the OH. 1650 is the CH, one of the CH3 or CH2, don't remember. 22, no clue, probably nitro. 1550, one of the CHs maybe. Don't remember which one's amine and which one's nitro. Basically, I guess what would happen, it would be the disappearance of the amide group is going to indicate the starting material is consumed. Because the final nitroaniline doesn't have an amide. Which of these is amide? 1650, I think probably then it's probably maybe it's not nitro then. Maybe that is an amide. 1, 2, M, the same thing. Monitored by NMR. Disappearance at which frequency? Oh my, so it's not even, this isn't even in the study books. So I have really no clue. I'm just gonna literally I'm gonna count to 10, whichever is. Oh no, I'm gonna count. I'm just gonna close my eyes and randomly pick one. I just put my mouse on it. Mouse ended up nowhere. I'll just pick up 107 because it looks like a good number. Yay, I like soaps. Except I don't like soaps when they're tested on it. Why is there 10? 11? There's not 11 passages. Well, I'm tired, so it's getting late. So I'm going to continue this later.